watching out there on YouTube. What I've decided to do is to take up the hobby of magnet fishing. Magnet fishing, what is magnet fishing? Well, I first heard about it on the internet, right on YouTube. A lot of people from the UK, a lot of them are great, you know, at magnet fishing. And I'm going to explain what it is here in a second. It was something that compelled me, and you know, whenever I get a little bit of free time, I thought maybe I could do this because it doesn't really cost a lot of money. It's safe, and you know, it's kind of right up my alley. Well, what magnet fishing is, by the way, you can use some of your old backpacks. Some people even use an actual real tackle box. But here's what I use. I use a backpack, and I store my magnets in here. Okay, this right here, and it can smell like a little bit of river water or wherever the last place I was fishing. But here's what this is. Some people tie the magnet straight to, this is called an eye bolt, and some people use a carabiner. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if I am or not. That's this piece here, but this is the magnet, and these are magnetized on the bottom, and so when they go down into the body of water, they kind of, you feel around, and if anything's magnetic, it'll latch onto it and you pull it up. And there are so many different things that can be magnetic. So that is basically what magnet fishing is. But as you probably guessed, there's different kinds of magnets. They go by pull force. This is a 540 pound pull force magnet. I have an 840. I also have the one I started out with, which is a 150 pound pull force magnet. They have the surface area. They have different measurements on those too. Like, you know, basically how big around the magnet is, how much surface it covers. They usually measure that in millimeters, like 60 millimeters, 90, 120. And, you know, I'm still getting new magnets all the time. I've also learned, you know, as a beginner, I've also learned some safety tips that you should do. And I'm going to tell you, since now you know what magnet fishing is, you know that it's attaching a rope like a paracord to a magnet, throwing it into a body of water. It could be a river, it could be the ocean, it could be a creek, or even a mud puddle. Although I wouldn't throw in a mud puddle, you might not catch anything. But anyways, some safety tips is you want to use these gloves. I choose like waterproof gloves. You can get these, you can get disposable or permanent kind. I get disposable. You put these on like so. Make sure you get the size for your hands. I have to get the large. But anyways, you can go back to the dishwashing liquid aisle in Walmart, and you know, these are pretty cheap. You know, these are like $2, I think, but they're very important. One thing I like about them, they're waterproof. Second thing is, depending on where you're magnet fishing, there may be hypodermic needles. You know, there may be of course there's going to be rust. You don't want it to puncture your skin. You know, of course there's going to be some water, there's going to be bacteria and everything like that. So it's basically for health reasons why you want to wear gloves. Okay? Definitely wear the gloves. Don't take a chance. Okay. So, let me see what else I have over here. Okay, here I have over here another magnet. You know, these are kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like somebody that likes to collect guns and they're showing off their guns, except, you know, these are my toys, these magnets. So, in the very beginning, I used metal putty knives, and that was a no-no, because whenever I would go in a lot of bodies of water, you're going to find out that there's magnetic rocks or there's silt, this really nasty smelling kind of black magnetic soot on the bottom of some bodies of water. Stinks really bad. And those magnetic rocks. Well, say, you know, you pull that up and that's all there is. You just want to take a plastic putty knife and you go like this, scrape it off to the side. And the reason why you want to do this is because if you leave that silt and rocks on the magnet, it's going to smell funky later, but also it won't be as flat, because when that magnet goes underneath the water, you want it to go flat up against whatever you're going to try to be catching. So it improves your bite. That's what I call when it clamps down. It improves your bite on whatever you're catching, and you'll catch a lot more. Also, there's many different kind of knots that you can tie onto your magnet. I'm trying to remember the kind of knot this is. It's a
bowline.
Para.
I thought it was a bowline.
No. I'll have to come back to that. It's like, no, it's parabolic. It's a parabolic knot. And I hope I got that right. But anyways, it's a pretty good knot, and in one of my future videos I'll show you how to tie one. Also, when getting paracord, you can pick up stuff like that, like at Walmart, Harbor Freight, Rural King, Tractor Supply. You want to make sure that it covers the weight of the magnet you have. Again, you know, good 50 foot, it's going to cost you in between 10 and 15 bucks. You know, so forth and so on. So, we got the putty knife covered. I'll show you my, here's a beginner magnet. Now, I didn't know what this was going to be about, so I chose this as my beginner magnet. It came with 30 foot a paracord here, and you can see how tiny this is to the other magnets. It has 150 pounds of pull force. You know, I was kind of doubting that with this little magnet, but you know what? We pulled up chains that weighed a good 30 pounds, and that's penetrating through the mud. I mean, you got to think, one thing right now, people, I almost forgot to explain this, but when this goes down and it hits the bottom and there's a lot of mud or dirt down there on the bottom of that body of water, you see the magnet has to penetrate through that. So you're not going to get the whole 150 pounds or the whole 500 pounds, whatever your magnet's rated. It's going to be diminished by like 70-80%. So I just want you to know that you're not just going to say, hey, I'm going to put that in there and I'm going to pull out something 150 pounds. No, you have to be realistic. It has to go through the mud. Sometimes you have to sit there and kind of fish for it, you know, to try to get the magnet to pull it out of the mud. Sometimes you have to go slow and steady. I mean, there's really a lot to magnet fishing. There's a lot of techniques. I'll go over some of that in the future also. In closing, you know, I just really wanted to make this video to tell you that I'm making a TV series called The Magnet Fisher. The first one, season 1, is going to start out with 12 episodes and 4 treasure reveals. The treasure reveals is simply when all of these items, artifacts, whatever you want to call them, whenever they come out of the river, I mean, some of them look like rust balls. They're covered in rust. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean them up. You know, I've watched the web, and it showed like you can clean it up with like vinegar, white vinegar. You know, also take a little hammer and hit some of the rust off of it first. I'm basically going to clean up the artifacts, the ones I find interesting, and then I'm going to reveal them to you what they look like after I clean them up. So that's what's going to be in the treasure reveals. Anyways, in closing, I also want to tell you, when you're out magnet fishing, be careful of your surrounding when you're around others. Like, these magnets are no joke. You don't want to horse around or play around and put two magnets together. You know, I mean, you could really break a finger or squish your finger. They're not toys. You also want to be careful how you're casting. You just don't want to go around and sling them like a helicopter, because if you hit somebody in the head, you know, just like with these, I mean, you're going to get a concussion or your head busted open. Also, make sure you don't be aware of your surroundings so that you don't fall in the water. And, you know, if you don't know how to swim, maybe you should bring a life vest or something. Just use common sense. Also, as of this recording, you do not need a license of any type to go magnet fishing. So, with that being said, to go magnet fishing, it's free. It does cost, you know, the one-time fee of getting the magnet and the rope, but it's something that you can do not only for yourself, but you can spread the word. Your whole family can do it, and it's fun. You never know what's on the other end of that rope when you pull it up. You know, some people, you know, have made money doing it. Like, they pulled up stuff from the Civil War or World War II or even World War I. You know, but I'm just doing it for fun. And that's what I encourage you to do it fun. Do it fun, do it safe, and if you're out there and it's hot, just like you're going to see in most of my videos, stay hydrated. You know, bring you some water or some Gatorade, Powerade, whatever. So, with that being said, I'm about to sign off here. I encourage you to spread the word about my channel. Like, I need all the likes, the thumbs up that I can get. Subscribe to my channel. When you do subscribe, don't forget to click on the bell, because the bell will tell you whenever there's a new video that's coming out. And you can follow me on my adventures of magnet fishing.